over the 6 years of my governorship, we did so many things together.
The governor's invited every January to come in and present the state budget and conduct Q&A.
I absolutely see GPL as critical partners in everything we're doing to grow, continue to diversify the economy, make sure the economy works for all Arizonans, grow our workforce.
Education was a commitment, probably the biggest goal. You know, I don't know that we've ever, as a city, state, been nearly as successful in making the changes to education. It's very hard.
Hearing how education was good for business and public investment in education was good for business. They needed workforce, they needed talent. They needed talent to be able to recruit and grow.
I think GPL always had and always will have an education focus.
I worked a fair amount on full-day kindergarten. You couldn't be labeled business-friendly if you weren't education-friendly. There's more emphasis now on other things, but education is still very high on the list, I'd say.
Well, what we did was we did an analysis of the education system and determined that we needed to make an improvement in the education system. If we spend $1 on education to get the kind of results we want, which is a educated workforce, where do you spend that dollar? And they did an analysis. You know, do you spend it at the university? Do you spend it in junior high? Do you spend? And they said the most effective place to get the kind of workforce you want is in kindergarten.
I think the biggest drum we beat is funding. And then, you know, I think we all, again, because we're business people, we understand that there's need for accountability and performance and that type of thing. But it's just, to me, it's undeniable that we're underfunded.
GPL was very supportive and gave me a lot of input in regards to my temporary 1.5 cent sales tax that I had to go out to the voters to get enacted so that we could get through the hard times up at the legislature. And they wanted that because they knew that if we didn't do that, with education being the biggest portion of our budget, we would have to slash a lot of money, and nobody wanted that, neither did GPL.
Arizona had a good reputation for school choice. We have some pockets of real excellence, but besides your own mom and dad, your own family situation, it's education that makes the biggest difference in your life. It's not a federal issue, it's a state issue. And I thought a state that is innovative as Arizona could do a lot of good in K-12, and I wanted to put that to the test.
Always GPL has been involved in education. Now they're aggressively involved in education issues. So that's really how it started. And Governor Ducey had a very innovative idea about what finally ended up being called Prop 123. And he reached out to me to be that chairman of that initiative. And what that was going to be, if we could ever get it to be understood by the community, get it on the ballot, and get it passed, a transformational source of funding for schools. But GPL became the organization for that.
There was a lot of work with the schools, both U of A and ASU.
ASU didn't feel like it was being heard, and we gave it a much larger voice. All the things that are going on in the university and how important the university was to the town and the town to the university.
Leadership at ASU has really risen to the occasion and made ASU a powerhouse, a generator of a lot of things that a lot of people don't realize here. They're all positive, you know.
I'm happy to be part of a process that encourages more funding, but also at the same time, probably more accountability and performance-based ideas on that. But you know, to me, it's sadly that's our biggest battle, is fighting for money.
The health of a community stands on the foundation of our families, our children, and our education system, because if that is in the right place, then everything else can happen.